Expert playing expertly today with a 2-0 over the Flying Ducks, and this team is looking pretty unstoppable right now as their synergy is really just paying off.
Yeah, they are absolutely stepping it up, and I am loving it. Such a strong performance from Expert in this series. We've seen them against Liquid in just incredible shape, and they are continuing that trend. And that makes them a really big contender, of course, also going up against top 3 teams here, the big 3 in Europe. But right now, they still have one more map to win against the Ducks. And the Ducks, you should never count them out. They have shown other teams already in this season how strong they can be if they get the right draft.
That is very true. In fact, I'm looking at BOE right now. I'm trying to remember the last time they played this Battleground. They actually ran Falstad Tychus. It's like a strategy where they delayed, they rotated in, they brought the damage out.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, that was like what, 4 weeks ago?
BOE.
Oh, it's BOE. Sorry, I saw the Battleground before we went in.
Let's go to the Battleground and see what it is.
I wonder what Battleground they're gonna go to here. Oh, look at that.
Who knew?
Yeah, not me. BOE we're going to here. The Ducks have chosen it.
I did not expect that at all.
I honestly didn't expect it as a third map here. I looked down and saw it, so I went and checked real quick. But yes, the Ducks here will be going to BOE here. And the last time we played this Battleground, they did a delay tactics with Odin and Falstad, which was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, the Ducks have also played Medivh a lot on this map.
Yeah.
The Leyline Seals, we've been seeing them in the first game when Infernal Shrines was played. But traditionally, I would say this is even the map where they played that even more. This is a very good map for Medivh if you get a decent setup here. We've seen Expert play Medivh on the map. We've seen the Ducks play him on the battlefield. And Team Liquid has had some fantastic leylands and great saves in the past on this map in particular. So another hero to watch out for. Zeratul is something that has been used by Sport Billy here. But now we've seen them also on Genji. Granted, having a rough time on the last map, but that's more so because Expert just forced the mistakes, and that's... I'm really enjoying watching Expert these days.
Yeah,
it's
Expert just controlled the fights way too well on that last Battleground. We'll see if they can do it here in game number 3. I am kind of curious to see if we'll get Probius pulled out again. You've already mentioned Probius overall, but we saw a different variation of Probius played here by ADRD. They did a Photon Cannon build, and they just dropped the Photon constantly on the Immortal phase and controlled their Immortal and wound up beating their opponents into the ground over time, which is really cool to watch.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about the team in general, that they have also these weird, interesting, cool new strategies coming in. But as we are seeing them with more normal play, with just these normal setups here, I am enjoying it a lot. I really think this is one of their biggest strengths. But let's find out what they're doing in this map now.
So far, we're having a few heroes being hosted here by Expert. Greymane is typically a normal one that you ban out, but Expert will like to get rid of a Nubarak.
A dive hero. So
a dive hero.
One of the heroes that loves to dive into the backline. They're not focusing on banning out Vala or Greymane, as we've seen in the previous series, because of their value towards the map objective, but a dive hero. So maybe something planned for that backline again. We've been talking about Probius. They have played that before, and the one thing that Probius really, really hates is dive.
Yeah, he's not a fan. Genjis, any type of heroes that get in the backline. Chen, oh my gosh, have you played Probius in a Chen? That is the worst feeling in the world. He just keeps sitting on your face, dude.
I don't play cheese heroes.
Okay, all right, Kaldor. Greymane is going to be banned out here, and Team Expert will get their first pick. We'll see what they go into. Vala can be typical for Expert, but they grab Malfurion.
You know, the fun part is I can make fun of you playing Probius even though you don't play Probius, just because the hero is so right down your alley.
He's just associated with my name. I actually get annoyed to play Probius because it feels too easy to win. Like, he just clears waves so quickly. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Look at that. It feels too easy to win.
It's whatever, dude, man. I mean, it makes me wonder, should I have played Protoss in StarCraft instead of Zerg? After playing Probius and Heroes of the Storm, I'm like, wow, this is really easy.
Oh, if you're liking skilled, Protoss is the race to go.
Okay, perfect. Good to go. So
you can't set that up for me.
Yeah, man, I set it up for you.
As a Zerg player, you can't make that happen. I'm going to jump on that chance, but yeah. So Probius, you heard it here first. Trixler confirmed as the best Probius NA. We've been joking about the hero quite a bit. We've seen him in competitive several times. This is one of the maps where it could happen, but as we've been talking about the bans. Nubarak taken away, Greymane also banned out, and with our first picks, it's a Malfurion on one side, whereas we have for the playing Ducks immediately a Li Ming locked in, trying to get that carry hero going. Also, of course, with the resets, and a strong frontliner. No Anubarak this time. That was already banned out. Instead, we have Muradin.
I'm actually very excited for 2 reasons. One, we get Chris Li Ming, which is always fun to watch, especially when he gets the effective engages that he wants. And then secondly, we have Muradin here, who is one of Chris Blosian's probably favorite heroes. When he is on point with Muradin, he is pretty deadly. I wouldn't say JPL levels, but I feel much more comfortable when I see Chris Blosian on a Muradin than on a Anubarak. I feel like we've been hammering a bit too much on his Anubarak gameplay, so I want to shed some positive here.
Yeah.
When he's on Muradin and he's feeling himself for the day, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree here. Oriel now picked up by Expert. So once again, we're looking at double support play from Team Expert. The Oriel was banned out on the last map because the Ducks didn't want to deal with it. Now we have Malfurion plus Oriel. So again, the potential of Resurrect, depending on what exactly the Ducks are playing here, but overall, the sustain that you are trying to get with this setup. And also, as Sonya, with Greymane banned out, Li Ming taken, Sonya is still one of the heroes that has a very nice damage output towards the Immortal.
Yeah, second time that we've seen Sonya today on this Battleground. I think I need to give Sonya a little bit of a whirl here. I know she can be great in the top lane, and she does bring out that damage with Slam, but starting to see it a little bit more here in Europe, so I'm going to have to give her a try at some point in the future. Now, over to the Ducks, they're going to ban out the Valla. So suddenly, Valla, Greymane, they just want to stay away from racing potential, and both those heroes do that well.
I could have even seen them go into Valla, to be honest. They have the next double pick. It would have been an option for the Immortal race to empower it even more. But I still think there's a good chance they are looking towards a potential Medivh pickup. Then again, the opponent doesn't have one of those damage dealers, range damage dealers, just yet. So going into a Valla would have helped you probably to race that Immortal down even faster. So good ban. Lucio taken out by Expert. Another support ban happening here. Overall making a lot of sense, especially with Tychus and Arthas both still available. If you combo those off with a Lucio, they just gain even more value.
And it still forces suddenly the Ducks to go into a weird scenario when it comes to supports. Last time we saw them on the Rhaegar. Now, it's still one support that does well on this Battleground in particular can be Karazim. If you want to be able to get those Iron Fist punches in, burn down an Immortal, he's great too. The problem is his healing output is a little bit on the missing side, and oftentimes if you don't land the perfect Divine Palms, you can have members fall off.
Uther, also an option.
True.
Could still use the Uther depending on what you're trying to play. If you want to set up maybe a melee assassin, that can be a good tool. And it is Uther. Uther and Abathur.
Ooh.
Okay, double Li Ming potentially. Maybe a different copy towards the end of the draft. There's definitely a lot of potential of what they still could use. And now the question, of course, who do we see on Abathur? I believe we saw once already Sport Billy on the hero, but depending on the copy, I could see him on a copy hero. Maybe even a Zeratul.
Yeah, we've seen Sport Millie and Nande both play Abathur in the past here. Bit Autumn BOE. This was an old strategy back in the day, though, where you used to have the Abathur, his Locust would just slowly creep on the turrets, get them killed off a little bit, but you usually use a hat and you go in the tank and you disrupt the opposing team constantly. So we'll see what the Ducks will get here for their 5th hero. Tychus is still up and floating and available. Team Expert has a chance to grab it here, actually, and it would be wonderful against Muradin.
It's definitely true. Expert could go down that road. They still need a range damage dealer, and that would be a very good choice for them. So they might use that as their backline damage. Another frontliner, Arthas. Arthas, and finally, I've been waiting for this for so long. Finally, the triple support.
Caldor, what the pickle is this?
This is the most annoying composition you have ever faced in your entire life. I've been waiting for weeks for them to finally pick something like this. There's the Zeratul, by the way, so what we talked about with a copy on Zeratul and Sport Billy being on the hero, this proves to be right. So that was kind of what we expected, but I guess we are going to talk a little bit more about Expert's draft.
Yeah, please do. So, I get the idea. You have 2 frontline tanks that do moderate damage, pretty decent damage. They're not going to blow somebody up, but moderate damage.
Hello, when was the last time you played against a Sonya?
Okay, well, you're right in that regard. And you just don't let them ever die. Ariel, Malfurion healing, Lily, I'm assuming we go Water Dragon. We lock down our target, and Sonya and Arthas just stay on somebody and just, well, I'm gonna put this mildly, murder them, I guess. Just take them out quickly.
Okay, this is one of the drafts that happened shortly after the new patch was adapted to HGC, and all of the teams that played against it, no matter if they lost or won, just had one comment before the games even started. Oh my god, why us?
Yeah, stop this, please.
Yeah, stop. So it doesn't always fit, and so far Expert has struggled to show something like this. They have a lot of cool drafts, as I said before, and this is one of them. And it is just brutal to kill anything here. You have Lily with the blinds. You have then also Oriel with the potential resurrect, depending on what your opponent does. If you need to mitigate some burst damage with an Aegis, or if you have the chance to actually simply go into the resurrect. And it is super annoying to kill these guys. And the damage output that comes out of it is actually fairly good. So it's such a pain to play against.
That it looks like it too. And here's the thing too: when you pick up Murden and you're facing off against Sonya, you're hoping to get Skullcracker. You're going to be able to stop her from whirlwinding. But Lily just blinds that and stops it from being effective. And by the time the entire blind pops off, Sonya's already topped off and she's fine with the whirlwind. Let's see how this shakes out here. We're going to BOE. We got triple support up in the mix-up. Expert showing off new stuff.
Expert showing us a triple support comp. Finally, it's one of the comps they've been hiding for a bit, and today they are willing to show it here. We have currently to the left side with 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Nick on Lily, feeling adventurous today. Curson on Malfurion, ADRD on Oriel, Blade on Sonya, and Bad Benny on Arthas.
Over to the Ducks. They are looking to stop this triple support train from going in. We're going to be having Wolf Joe on Malfurion. Chris will be playing Li Ming. Sport Billy on Zeratul. Chris Explosion on Murden. Oh, I'm sorry. Uther will actually be on Wolf Joe. Abathur will be Nande here. So let's go ahead and see how this breaks out. One of the things that you have to consider when you're facing against multiple supports is macro gameplay. You have to be on point with your macro gameplay.
Yes.
Typically in team fights, especially the one here, they should be able to get out fights. Wolf Joe goes in. Arthur starts getting the heals.
Arthur starts getting those heals, and he is not going to lack those in this game. With the triple support, we have, of course, a lot of options for these supports to spec into talents that they usually would not be able to take, because they need to have that heal output. But now Lily already heading into the blind talents in level 1, very popular these days in general. You probably experienced it yourself in your own Hero League games already. And it's just incredibly difficult to kill anything here. And let's not forget an important point with this. Yes, there's a triple support, but on top of the triple support, you have 2 heroes, 2 melees that have a ton of self-sustain themselves. So it's not only the triple support itself, it's Arthas with those self-heals, Sonya with a whirlwind. Have fun trying to kill something here.
Sport Billy is going to play lights out here.
Yeah.
To actually get kills as well. He's sitting on the side, looking for a way to move in. Curson will be able to move by him. There it goes, the scouting drone. Sport Billy goes in for the blockage here. Bad Benny comes in from the side, and they actually get the kill. Chris with the great orb and Q, and Sport Billy with the great block.
Now this is of course one way you can kill something against a triple support. You just trap them in a narrow pathway where they cannot move out, and then you let Li Ming pew pew fire away and get those shots in. And that was very well done by Chris, so great kill on the side of the Ducks.
Yeah, incredible patience too by Sport Billy as well, waiting for the right moment to get that kill. So there we go. The Ducks get the first kill of the game. Team Expert will go ahead and start spreading out. Curson getting focused once again, trying to join the team. It's Sport Billy, and Wolf Joe will stop it from being effective.
I can't help it, but it's actually funny. Think about how annoyed Curson is. He just got trapped in the bot lane between 2 heroes, and he's finally on the way back and gets met with a welcome committee immediately. Nick also in trouble, but being... Oh! Hashtag worth kills on both sides. The double support or the triple support already dying 4 times, and Zeratul, he is willing to dive in for the kill, basically just saying worth it. Let's just kill those supports off while we can.
Well, it's important, too, because Chris got the reset, and he was able to kill Ariel on the other side, too. So Zeratul moving in there for the good of his teammates and, of course, shut this panda down.
I don't think, though, that kill again, that Zeratul diving in really had anything to do with Li Ming there. He was probably saying, yeah, I just want the kill.
I'm trying to give credit.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Teamwork.
No, it worked out. I think they would have killed Oriel anyways. They had a great position to take her down here. But yeah, Zeratul, he just wanted to kill, let's be honest.
He wants to get those plays, man. I can feel ya. Wolf Joe. Gonna come out with a stun, getting locked down here by Arthas. Li Ming, is working on the Immortal on the side here with the aid of Zeratul, so Expert will forfeit this first Immortal phase. We'll be having a push, and I believe it's gonna be happening in the top lane. Yes, it will be. Now, do note that Sonya was able to grab some damage on those top right turrets. Abathur held for a while. Zeratul's on the left side here. Curson does scout him out. What will Sport Billy do here as Nick is setting up to close out on the right?
He should be able to get away here.
Ooh.
Although, will he? We're going to find out. Needs to wait for the cooldown. Abathar is now here too, once again revealed by Kirsten. Bad Benny finally walks over, and here is that quick blink. Well done. I want to highlight something real quickly though, because as you could see, the early game was a little bit chaotic here, 6 kills already. The important part to note though, how do you take the supports down? You isolate them. If you can isolate them, as they did, just wait for them for rotations or coming back from base, then you can get easy kills here. Chris, on the other hand, is falling since we just have 2 frontliners with no fear whatsoever. Self-sustain on each one of them, and on top of that, then also all that heal and the healing power from the supports that are trying to keep them alive.
You don't see this every day. Ariel solo laning. She'll be down here all by herself, soaking that experience.
Well, they have to keep someone there to soak the XP, and you don't have to win the lane in this setup. They're not trying to push the lane out. It's all about just simply sitting there and get the XP so that you don't lose out on it.
Surprisingly enough, Expert's actually ahead in experience here, despite having a few deaths their way. Total of 4 kills going to the Ducks, 3 here for Expert. Sport Billy looking for another support to pick on. ADRD will run by him, not being seen. Abler has mined up the entire map too. This is great for the Ducks.
Yeah, that's vision. That's vision, and they know about rotation. So whenever they see someone rotating alone, they can move in with Zeratul, have Abathar help out, and then go for the potential kill here. So super important in this setup. Vision on the map, seeing rotations, knowing where your opponent is. That's all that the Ducks need at this point, because they know in a 5-man, it's really tricky for them to get the kills. One of the ways they could do it, though, is with a good Void Prison later. Isolate someone. Make sure that 2-3 of those supports are just zoned off, and then go for the rest.
Yeah, I think you go for that. You go for the Void Prison, you go for the Divine Storm, you lock somebody down, you have Leeming all in on the fight, orbit Q into Calamity and go for the kill. Sport Billy chasing in Nick here. Has been blinded. Chris Explosion jumping in himself. Bad Benny will come in with a Howling Blast to keep his teammate alive. Zeratul attempts to retreat, but Blade is also joined up, and Wolf Joe is suddenly being slowed down.
And they're just going in. They're just going, just look at Arthas, not afraid at all. He drops in hit points, and he doesn't even attempt to retreat. He just moves in farther because he knows how he's getting healed. He even soaked damage. He took a bullet, literally, for Lily, who was attacked here, and he moved straight into the way. But down here, there's not enough support there just yet. There we go.
No way.
And he survives.
What?
And it's a kill, might be a double. Now barely Chris Explosion gets out.
Delete this VOD. I cannot play against this in here league. Please no. He lived, Caldor. Bad Benny did like 2 of the most basic jukes I've ever seen in my life. Waited for his teammates to show up and like, here you go, healed. And playing Doug's panic, and we have somebody lost, almost a second person. That's incredible. Now the Immortal is being taken here. Expert is racing it down, and they are closer to 10 than their opponents.
Isolation, trying to section them off, this is how you deal with it. And also, of course, another tool, you mentioned that a bit earlier, but I don't think we have the tools available for the Ducks, is macro game them. It's one of the reasons why we see it on this map, I feel. There's only 2 lanes. So with only 2 lanes available, and a lot of these fights happening in the mid lane, it's a great composition for this map. That's one of the things that I really want everybody that watches this to consider. A lot of the compositions you're going to see in competitive play are specifically designed for a particular map, especially when we're talking 2-lane maps, and this is very evident right now. This is for Battlefield of Eternity, and Experts would very likely not play the same draft on maps that have 3 lanes and objectives spawning on different sides of the map, as for example Towers of Doom, Sky Temple, and others.
Are we going Cindergosa here? Is he just going to push in with the Immortal and at least secure a fort and just have the healers top him off? Or will we get
totally could.
Yeah, I'm trying to wonder here if he's going to pick it up. He hasn't picked it up quite yet. Zeratul's on the back left. He has been spotted. Nick is chasing him down.
Look at the Resurrection. Resurrection for Oriel.
Oh, yep.
It doesn't get any worse than this. You have 3 supports against you. You're desperately trying to get a kill. Even if you get that kill, it's just going to be back again. Cindergosa would be a great tool here. I do not think you need the Army of the Dead, but if you do, then you are more or less unkillable.
Bad Bane turns around here. Void Prison has been used. It has been Cindergosa that has been chosen. Big Twilight Dream coming out on the left side, but it's not enough as the playing Ducks take 1 person off. Blade kills Li Ming, and we're going to have more members in the top right getting picked.
Nanda is losing the copy. The Resurrect is in. Malfurion got the Twilight Dream off and got immediately resurrected afterwards by Oriel. Now they go for Wolf Joe, and he is falling. Sport Billy trying to apply pressure. That's not happening either. It is indeed Syndragosa that was used earlier. The fort is already down. Abathur soaking experience down to the bottom of the map. But we have Team Expert with 7 kills against 5 moving towards the keep.
Containment Strike connects on Crystplosion. He will be able to jump out, but you are correct. The Immortal gets 1 slash on the keep, and with a big wave here, Expert can be slightly more aggressive. Void Prison not up for 50 more seconds. Expert is not done.
No, they're definitely not done here. They are moving in even further. They have all the sustain in the world they need. Water Dragon is still online, could be used here. Heals everywhere, and this is just such an annoying comp to play against. Think about how difficult it is for the Ducks to get a kill. Ideally, it's a kill against Oriel, so she cannot resurrect anybody, and she has that ability available again in another 50 seconds.
We're going to have the Ultimate Evolution clone. Oriel gets dived in here. Instantly cleanse here. Water Dragon connects with 3 members, slowing down all of Expert. Blade will step forward with Bad Benny. Wolf Joe will get rooted.
Copy immediately down. Wolf Joe is also dead, and we have Sonya falling. No resurrection just yet. ADRDS as well dying. The keep is still there, and now they're cleaning house. Once you start to get your kills in, you are going to get a lot of them. There we have it. Expert. They lose the first healer, they lose the second, and it's an entire team wipe. A pentakill for the Playing Ducks.
Even the spray coming out there. Big plays there for the Ducks. Resets here from Li Ming helping out in the fight. Zeratul with the chase.
Now, how did it happen? Oriel did not have resurrection. That was used in the earlier team fight that the Experts won. But now we have Oriel taken, we have 1 healer taken down. Oriel doesn't have a resurrect. They're already starting to be a bit low. And after the first pillar falls, all of a sudden the entire house crumbles. And this is really what is the weakness, or one of the weaknesses of this draft. So the Playing Ducks, the isolated target, take it down. There's no resurrect available. The second one falls, and at that point, you're just in full retreat trying to save yourself. So it's 13 versus 13. And the important part of this is still that the Experts have not been able to take the keep at the top lane down. This was their main goal with this push.
Yeah, so we're hoping to get catapults there to kind of nullify the push for Abathur. Now the Immortal phase will begin here. Blade intending to clear up this push in the top lane while everyone else is defending the Immortal here for Expert. Li Ming and crew, though, won't mind chunking around here. They drop orbs as well as missiles on top of that Immortal. Crystplosion moving in the left side. Watch for this Stormbolt, man. If he gets a connection, Sport Billy can go in.
Sport Billy is indeed in a situation where he's once again looking for a good target to chunk down. Now we have, of course, with the level 13 talents, also more sustain for the Ducks themselves. They have the healing static for Mirrodin, also running the Soma Transference on Abathur, and, well, they have the Mending Strikes for Zeratul. Here we go, once again, bot lane. They tap off, move back in. This is where the Ducks are going to look for a kill.
They're looking for that kill. Bad Benny in the front on the right side. Nick also being in the front line. Sonya just keeps pushing this lane if you're trying to get that lane pushing towards that keep at some point. Again, slow and steady is the name of the game for Expert, while Playing Ducks wants that moment. They want that firework to go off, get someone low, and get a kill.
Exactly. They really want to have that immediate kill there. And Sonya is just clearing one wave after another at the top lane. Again, she just rotates a bit top, gets a good whirlwind in, and that starts to stack the minion waves on the top lane. And this is going to pressure the keep and eventually going to take it down. This wave, if left alone, is going to eliminate the keep very soon. So the Ducks are in an awkward spot.
Plan's being used. Lily will be hit. Void Prison is out. Blade trying to buy time here on the left side. He starts to spin here. Watch Lily. Does she get taken down? Big Twilight Dream comes out. Curson will use Ice Block as well. Here's a Water Dragon. Connects with Mirrodin.
Water Dragon is on the point. Mirrodin is moving out as we're having a very nice Divine Storm connected, but it's not enough. Wolfjaw himself is in trouble and gets locked out by Howling Blast. Once again, the Swirlwind is dropping him. Uther is down, and now we have Expert carrying the momentum towards the Immortal of the Playing Ducks.
Expert goes from 3 healers versus against 1 healer, and now Uther not being up, the Ducks have to be careful on their trades. Expert will take this chance to burn down their Immortal with Sonya and Arthas, and they'll get the lead here just barely.
Halftime show. Abathur, by the way, made his way up to the top lane to stop the wave from pushing in, but by now they are still having the Ducks with only 4 heroes on the map. So at this point, the experts are going for the Immortal, and they will claim another one. They are going to win this objective. ADRD and his boys are taking it down, and even though they're slightly behind in experience, they will still be the ones pressuring through the bot lane. And now keep in mind, Syndragosa is available.
Expert has a chance here to maybe fake out pushing the bottom and then rotate top to get out the keep. However, they're going to go ahead and bottom. As Syndragosa will get more value on forts that are much larger in health, so they are moving in towards that Immortal. It's going to be a big, a nice, a juicy one here for pushing in. The playing Ducks will attempt to burn it down.
Arthur's already getting in position for the Syndragosa. Captain Hitsugai, I would be very proud of him here. We need that Ice Dragon. Chrisplosion in the backline, pressuring Blade a bit, but this is not going to be of any consequence. And look how Arthur's actually holds back his ult. He wants the keep.
He wants that keep. Dancing around, I'm watching Zeratul. Look at him on the minimap. He's behind here for the big flank. There is a Void Prison available.
There we go.
Scouting drone's been dropped to scout out the Zeratul. Here is the Syndragosa, and we're pushing in.
We are pushing in. The Immortal is on half health, but they want that keep, and they want it now. Once again, Chrisplosion getting chunked down a bit by Blade as we have the experts moving forward. The Ducks meeting that onslaught, but Chrisplosion is low, has to jump out, and the keep is going to fall.
The keep does fall here with one more auto attack or two. There we go. Nani's in the back left. Ultimate Evolution's been used, but the scouting draw from Malfurion has done well. The Zeratul has been controlled.
It's so difficult for the Ducks to engage into this. And now the Abathur ult is down. Abathur has lost his ability to use the ult in this fight. Chrisplosion gets locked down as well. Is there potential for the Taman strike? Not quite, since Sportbilly locks down the backline with a Void Prison.
Oh no, a little bit early there from Chris. The Q doesn't come out. Also, Void Prison is not dropped. Water Dragon hitting Wolf Joe. He gets behind his lines there. He's fine, but Blade overextends, and now Chris is looking for a kill. He even Calamity's in.
Reset City as Chris is trying to go for kills, but he's lacking the mana right now.
Dream.
The Dream! Zeratul is falling though. Can they get the counter kill? It looks like Muradin is gonna join him in death. Chrisplosion running away. You can run, but you can hide, and this is going to be the end of the Dwarf.
He keeps dancing around here. He finally does fall, even with the Abathur hat. Now the Ducks start to move forward. Bad Bunny is kind of low on health. The Ducks may be hoping to defend this push here, but they might be looking for a core.
It was such a big problem that Chris ran out of mana on Li Ming. He got resets, but he just didn't have enough mana available. Now Expert, they want the 3-0. They go in. They're about to drop Wolfjoy again on his Uther, and the core is losing hit points. Team Expert is on the core and about to end this game.
Nande and Chris are working together, hoping to clear this out. Here comes Sportbill on the left, but look at the health bars. Everyone is full on health. Bad Benny's starting to get low. The core is falling down to 40%. Okay, we have one reset here. Can Chris get another? No, he misses out on the orb. Chrisplosion comes out. He pounces on Blade, but it's not enough. Expert will take the series with 3-0 and 3 healers.
3 healers and a 3-0 victory. So this marks the end of the series. Experts, they show a triple support draft on Battlefield of Eternity. One of the few maps where this draft can actually work, and they make it work. Syndragosa being used, self-sustain on Arthas, self-sustain on Sonya, and the triple support make it happen. Oriel with the Resurrects. And it's a nasty comp to play against.
Yeah, for you at home, again, we saw one moment where you can actually beat that composition. If you find a moment to break down one pillar, the dominoes just fall over for that team. But if you don't, you'll see what happens there. So you have to have coordination, have to have lockdown, and make sure to get the engaged. Regardless, Expert ends week 10 here with a really impressive composition. One that is just mind-blowing, it seems like, and great to see here in HGC.
Yeah. Now, let's keep in mind that there are, of course, tools that you can use against this. Wave clear can oftentimes be a game-changing strategy against this composition, but it's very much so map-dependent. So how much stun does the opponent have? How many tools do they have to section off heroes in this setup? How much burst damage do they have? Do they have better wave clear than you? In this setup, though, Expert finally went for that comp. And this is the one thing I want to also, again, emphasize. They had this comp for a long time. They have not played it because it never really fit. It never fit the map, didn't fit the opponent's composition, so we're always holding it back, and this is the first time where they said, this works. This time it actually works. So even though it looked extremely strong, don't think you can just simply go for a triple support the next time you play Battlefield, disregarding what your opponent is doing and get away with it. But it shows that it's at least a strong tool if the circumstances are right.
And if they really do get put up there, we'll see if that will ever be a thing we see again in the future. But it's cool that Expert did show that off. And that's the kind of stuff you get here at the HGC. You get to see weird compositions that are built for these type of map mechanics just because our teams are constantly facing every single week. This is what I hoped for when the HGC was brought out, that we would get these rare moments where something pops up and we're like, wait a minute, is this something? And it does become something. It's really cool to see the knowledge of the game expanded so much. I love you. It's so cool.
It's pretty awesome to see how much the teams are currently willing to experiment a bit and what they're showing here. And as you said, going from one play day to the next, we have so many moments where players adapt, where teams adapt, where they show something else, where they set something up the week before, where they hold back strategies that they developed a few weeks ago and then finally have a chance to show them off. It's just awesome to see that all come together. So having HGC here with the weekly pace, it's absolutely fantastic.
Now here's the real question. When do we get 5 Assassins? That's going to be a good one.
Please no.
I can't wait for that. It sounds like we got Bad Benny ready to go. Bad Benny, thank you for joining us. Before we even get started, man, 3 supports? What the heck, dude?
To be honest, we did it today because, like, we practiced it before, but we saw Menace tweet on Twitter that, like, this meta is so bad with double support, so we felt we had to do it today. Make it even worse.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to spite them a bit.
Bad Benny making a statement here with the triple support life. So how does it feel, guys? You guys are in 4th place. You've ended the season here with a solid victory, and next week you have the playoffs. How are you guys feeling as a team?
We're feeling fine. I mean, as you said, we won today. We won our last 2 or 3 games as well, and ultimately, it doesn't matter too much if we make it or not. Like, we just want to grow to be a better team because we show now that we can contest the top teams, but we need to get there more consistently. And I mean, hopefully we make it, but we do respect like Liquid and Dignitas and the other teams to like put up a solid resistance. So, but we feel good.
Awesome.
Overall.
Well, we enjoy watching you guys grow. I'll send you over to Caldor for more questions.
It was definitely fun to watch you guys here today, and I have a question more towards HGC as general, because I feel looking at how you guys play right now, and especially looking at individual players, it's pretty transparent that having a league setup helps you a lot to grow, and you've been talking about that being a goal for you. In particular, when I watch Curson, I think that guy is all of a sudden so on fire, and comparing that to him last year, when he sometimes seemed a bit like a weak point, would you agree that Curson in particular and you guys as a team really benefit from the league setup that we have?
It's more like that. I mean, the league setup in itself obviously gives more consistent tournament practice, but since we have to play every week, instead of having like major tournaments every 3 months or something, then we practice more regularly. Like every week we scrim a lot more, and it shows. Like the level has increased by a lot, I think.
Yeah, we've been talking.
Curse has been improving, obviously.
Yeah, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, we were talking about him just having some amazing cleansers there, and it really saved you. So you guys have shown some crazy strategies. But we're going into the playoffs. Can we expect you guys showing more new compositions that you've been holding back, or are you just falling back on normal meta picks?
What do you mean with meta?
Yeah, okay, for you guys, that was a really dumb question. I agree. My bad.
But if you like, we definitely haven't showed everything yet. We still have a few tricks up our sleeves that we will bring.
Win 5 Assassins.
Please never. Don't make that a
Benny,
thing.
come on, man.
When they nerf supports and tanks so much that you play 5 Assassins.
I'll send an email.
Do it.
If that ever happens, the 2 of us are going to have a talk.
Bad Benny, congratulations on your victory today. Before we let you go, please, any shout-outs that you would like to share with the people at home?
To my team, Expert as an org. Not going to mention any sponsors today. Just leaving that there.
But I think Logitech was one of them, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so, actually. Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, to all our fans, obviously, a big shout-out for supporting us through the whole Phase 1. And hopefully we make it to Mid-Season Brawl. If not, I hope to see you support us for next phase. And yeah,
Awesome.
thanks for watching and everything.
Thank you, Bad Bunny. Expert and crew get a 3-0 over the Playing Ducks. Always a pleasure to watch, and if you enjoyed seeing them, you're going to see more of them next week in the playoffs, which we are getting excited for, man. We won't be back.